Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. It is a long time coming since we have done a Kingdom Death video. Far too long. And I have only myself to blame for that because I am so sidetracked with half of the other dozen Kingdom Death models sitting around on my table that have yet to be finished. I haven't really touched any of the other stuff that has started to slowly trickle its way in. Well, today we're going to make an exception. We are going to be taking a look at the first of at least my Wanderer boxes, and that is Aeneas. Now, Aeneas is an interesting model, just how it came about. I will let you dig up on the research behind that, because I'm sure it'll be interesting. But it also gives a quick breakdown of what to expect in all of the new Wanderer packages for those of you who haven't really been paying attention, like myself, who would just get kind of lost with all the pretty pictures that Poots would display every time he updated, and I wouldn't put much more thought into it. I am not a rabid player of Kingdom Death. I will play every now and then, which is unfortunate, but it's one of those things that I've kind of just shelved for when I have time for it, and I don't ever have time. I have time to paint what could probably constitute an entire rank-and-file army of Kingdom Death models, but that's a whole other story for a whole other video. Anyways, you can see a quick breakdown. So we got the model. Each of the Wanderers is going to have these little books with them. I'm curious how the Aeneas book compares to some of the others. Obviously, I haven't opened them at the time of this video. I got them all so far. We've got all the usual stuff in there. I'm not one to really spend a whole lot of time on the gameplay side. Like I said, I will dabble occasionally. I am far more interested in these things. And this is like one of those models that was a last-minute addition, so I'm even more curious. That's what really kind of got me. So this is something new. I'll have to check that out. Now, as far as I know, these are going to be included with, well, there's nothing on that side, all of the Wanderers. And you do get a couple in each box, but I mean, look at this. This is, at least if you wanted to save one, photocopyable and easily recreated yourself if there isn't already one being made and published on places like Board Game Geek or something. So I'm sure even if you run out, this is an easy fix. You get 5 of those. I don't know which box. I'm switching boxes for some reason now. Okay. You get a lot of cards. I'm not going to spend much time looking at each of them. I'm just kind of curious what kind of art. We do have the divider there. And you can see the Aeneas art on the side. Knowledge cards. I just want to see the art. Lots of her eating stuff. I'm guessing that's kind of part of her deal, if I remember correctly. Now there is a bit of an Ark Survivor. Interesting. That's the kind of stuff I was looking forward to. Obviously, if you are looking to keep all these spoilers free, then good luck on that. That's kind of what I wanted to see. So it's nice to see. I mean, I hadn't seen this art yet. And then the actual model. And that's kind of, I believe, how it's going to go for all of the various Wanderer kits. Some are going to be a bit more intensive than others, but that's okay. Usual lipped base holder. And then the sprue is pretty straightforward, actually. For a Kingdom Death model, this is... I almost want to use simple or lackluster in the fact that I'm not going to be swearing and probably getting reasonably frustrated and pissed off at it. It looks quite simple to build, and I do like the fact that we have the custom base included. It looks like it kind of ties in with her whole eating thing going on there. So I'm going to get her put together, and let's see how she turns out. Sit tight. Okay, we got Aeneas all put together here. And for a Kingdom Death figure, that was actually pretty quick and easy, I gotta say. And I hadn't realized it at the time, but what I thought might be two different head options are actually two different hairstyles. So you have the choice between the braided ponytail or letting it all hang loose. So I obviously went with the hanging loose option. So, Aeneas, if you remember things and are an astute Kingdom Death fan, that belt across her chest there should be awfully familiar. If it isn't to you and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's actually an item that you can acquire in the game that is the belt of gender swapping. So there's interesting things at play with Aeneas here. One of the cool things about having her hair as such is I don't have to pay most of her back now. Hooray for me. I do like the fact actually that there are spots for everything to kind of nudge up against each other, which in turn makes for extra contact points. And I'll be honest, the spear is a little bit thin, so I did put a little bit of glue right there where it touches up against her leg. There are some marks on her that's supposed to be there. She's supposed to be a veteran and all scarred up. And as I suspected, that base of hers does in fact resemble a mouth and seems to be following along with her whole overall theme. I'm not going to spoil it. I haven't read it. I started to, but I didn't get that far in it yet. Now, for those of you who are curious, because I'll be honest, I always am when it comes to these kind of models, as to just how large they are. I mean, I feel like these days with Conquest stuff, you're not like going to see as big of a drastic change in things. Grabbing my ever trusty Warhammer figure, so you can see Aeneas is quite a bit taller, but also has that custom base. Now, when things get interesting is when you start comparing her with other survivors. One of the indomitable survivors with the Zambato, if I remember correctly. One of the last Kingdom Death models I think I recently painted, which has been a while. The only of the 10th anniversary, or was it 15th? I don't even remember now. Whatever the most recent anniversary survivors was, this is Alistair. And comparing him to his original in-the-box version. I feel like at this point, the original game stuff is totally eclipsed by all of the modern stuff. But with that being said, you know, I just grabbed a handful of resin models, and I feel like we're going to get a barbarian in plastic as it is. And when I say resin, I mean the photo resin, not the old school hand-casted stuff. You could see here, with just a whole bunch of random models that I'm pulling off the shelf, Aeneas is pretty much, just because of her base, a little bit taller, but doesn't look too out of place with everybody else. And I love this red Sonia-ish barbarian. Ooh, I forgot her name. It's not Ava. Anya? I don't remember. Anyway, I still have to get the plastic version that came with the painter scale one. Tempting, but it's not like a major rush, considering I have that one painted and in one piece. Comparing her to one of my all-time favorites, the Echoes of Death Paladin, with plenty of ink around her eyes. You know, it doesn't look too shabby and out of place there, so that's good. I feel like Poots and company have kind of future-proofed themselves, considering how long ago we were supposed to get the Wanderers versus where the models are now. These two right here have actually come out quite a few years ago. So the fact that they're able to hang with her, even though she's got a custom base. Maybe to make it more fair, we should grab some other models that are on sculpted bases. Here we have the Ambitionism survivors. Still feel like the guy is kind of shorter, which is funny considering he looks bulkier. It's a weird pose he's in. Maybe because he doesn't have as much of a rocky outcropping. But you can see, I mean, they don't look too horribly out of place with each other. Admittedly, the female Ambitionism survivor has a huge base. So, grabbing just a couple other random plastics from throughout the years. Easter Aya, that's it. Easter Aya Lunar Twilight Night. Maybe the Easter one is a little bit shorter. Could just be my imagination. But their bases aren't as large as well. So, overall, a cool looking figure. And definitely I'm going to be curious to see what else is in store for the Wanderer. So I'm going to be flipping through that. And hopefully, if you guys are interested, I will post the other ones. And even if you're not interested, I'm still going to post them at some point or another because I want to go through my goodies. So yeah, we'll definitely have some more Kingdom Death videos, hopefully in the near future. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities in Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.